dear viewer, I present to you the intriguing tale of Augustina Voight. Gentlewoman sleuth, forensic investigator, socialite, walking time paradox. Chiefly inspired by Miss Marple with a hefty dose of Nancy Drew, Jessica Fletcher, and just a drop of Joanna Constantine, I conceived of Augustina for my pal's Warhammer Fantasy homebrew game Billyhammer. To stress, Augustina is an ordinary human being. A scholarly, eccentric gentlewoman with absolutely no combat prowess, magical talent, and seemingly no understanding of nefariousness or vice. She regularly hosts an afternoon tea at her residence in Altdorf, and her guests typically include a desert vampire shadowmancer, a very disreputable perfumer, and several dancing girls from the local bordello, which Augustina refers to as the Women's Institute. I must remember to make another clothing donation. The girls have so little. What dear Miss Voight does have going for her, and occasionally against her, is her god-tier intellect and medical knowledge, an ability to make good friends and even better finger sandwiches, and an ancestral archive of literature gathered and maintained by generations of the famously headstrong women of the Voight family. This was both a literal archive in her home and an eidetic memory bank that she could recall information from. And this is why, armed with a magnifying glass, a dancing dagger, and a carpet bag full of useful items, this absolute marshmallow has survived for 20 consecutive game sessions, which now comprise the first 20 chapters of her in-game memoirs. The temporary temporal diversion from Carrickvarn and the misadventures of the marvellous Miss Augustina Voight in 20 chapters. Thus far! With such thrilling cases as the mystery of the Maleficent Monastery, the tale of the terrible tunnel, and the indisputable and strongly motivated murder of Lord Fangfellow by his wife, the Lady Fangfellow, with witnesses. Back up, I hear you ask. What's this about a temporal diversion? During an adventure, Augustina and a few others were sent back in time to the ancient world and prevented the sacking of a Mesopotamian lake city and the assassination of its king by fishmen. And when we were showered with gifts and the king asked if there was any boon that Augustina would ask of him, she thought the only logical thing to do would be to start her family archives. And that's when the archive transformed from a Klaus Baudelaire-style mind library into a Stephen King's Dreamcatcher-esque liminal space. With nasty habits like materializing eldritch tomes that Augustina doesn't remember picking up, drawing her and her party members into its halls at strange times, and spitting out contributors, family members, and older and younger versions of Augustina herself. One of which, the elderly, belligerent, and far less cordial Frau Voight, met her in a time-lost pyramid and gifted her with Miss Voight's magnificent magnifying glass, a reminder to give it to herself when the time is right, and a warning to stop inviting that shady lady in black to tea. Augustina has taken this last point on as a suggestion. But recent misadventures have left poor Augustina feeling a lack of confidence. Too many missed hints, avenues unexplored, threads unpulled, and far too many occasions where Augustina has been put into mortal peril after straying just feet from her companions. And she had her heart broken when a friend confided in her that she is Altdorf's third most considered investigator, which would have been high praise had she not come behind that disreputable fellow in the Deerstalker. Augustina had a big cry on a wine-soaked couch and decided that she might not be a real investigator after all, but by all the gods, she will be! She's had enough tea to fill a boat to Cathay, bought a big trench coat, and decided that she's going to sharpen her investigative skills by going out and learning the street! But this is Altdorf, so I don't think that's going to be gum sticking to her shoes. Special thanks to my Mythic and Sandwich tier patrons Dugrin, Griffin Provenzano, Devil, and Brandon Creer. And an extra special thank you to my early backers Ryan Henderson, Winterslade, D Sparrow, Dugrin, Watchful Spirit, Harrison Pollen, Gunnar, Computer Coder, Patchwork Wizard, Zeb Pickering Polstra, William Ferrari, Isaac Davies, Shot Mac, Andrew Davis, Lemon Planter, Sora Mayura Yukino, Displacer Cat Shi, Zyrax, Gabriel Shepherd, Harry 1863, Anthony Williams, Kay Burnett, Peter Allen, Michael Douglas, Jordan S., Aaron Grover, Wanna Trip Baby, Damian Lane, Carl Villia, Righteous Steak, Thomas O'Neill, Joshua Smith, Jenny Size, Matthew, and Evan Haggard. Cheers for sticking around to the end, and thanks so much for all of your love and support.